In a bid to unlock the full potential of Africa's creative and cultural industries, Afreximbank has established a $1 billion African Film Fund to be launched in 2024, as announced by Executive Vice President of the Intra-African Trade Bank, Kanayo Awani, to support the continent's film industry.
For those of you who were at Canex weekend in Côte d'Ivoire in 2022, the bank increased the financing available to the creative sector for $500 million to $1 billion. We currently have a pipeline of over $600 million in film, music, visual arts, fashion, and sports deals. We rent tickets ranging from as small as $2.2 million to transactions of over $150 million. I'd like to highlight that though, that it is concentrated in sports and film financing. In fact, the very first film, it was showed on in the video earlier, we financed, premiered at the Toronto Film Festival this year, and we have a pipeline of deals from Nigeria, South Africa, and Kenya and elsewhere, which will be on streaming platforms in 2024. The bank is also working on the establishment of a $1 billion Africa Film Fund to be launched in 2024. The fund will oversee film financing, co-finance with large studios, finance African filmmakers, finance producers, and directors of projects as well.
This year, the carefully curated Creative African Nexus program had industry heavyweights like South African actress and producer Nomzamo Umbata and German-Ghanaian actor and philanthropist Boris Kojo leading the conversation on reconstructing narratives with the soft power of Africa's creative and cultural industries. These conversations aimed to address the challenges faced by the industry head-on by improving access to finance, strengthening intellectual property rights, investing in infrastructure and technology, enhancing skills and capacity building initiatives, promoting trade and investment, and developing robust platforms for content distribution and monetization.
Power of collaboration as Africans, to know that we're not segregated and we shouldn't be able to be operating in silos when it comes to creating things that deconstruct the narratives that have always been perpetuated in the past about who we are as a people. I think also one of the main things that we really kind of wanted as African creatives is to find the one platform that we can be able to be controllers of and custodians of when it comes to putting out content, whether it's a documentary or film or television series, that I'd probably say that really portrays us in our truest form, but also sets us on the global stage as equal contenders. It's so motivating to know that from the banking sector, we as creatives are not invisible, that they see our power, they see our economy, they see that we are drivers of so much untapped financial gold when it comes to how much we truly contribute to the greater scheme of things, to the GDPs of different countries on the African continent. So I think what the bank has done is that they've sent a message out to other private sector, to other financial sectors as well, to say that they too must invest in the power of the creative and cultural industry.
Authenticity of African stories. And it looks as if we are beginning to get to a space where it's being appreciated more. But how can we make sure that we don't lose the essence of those stories in trying to make sure that it gets to a global audience?
I think it's tremendously important to control our narrative and to make sure we stay our true self and our authentic self, because that's the only way that people across the world will identify and relate to what we're talking about. Again, we have to collaborate, we have to protect our talent, and we have to stop exporting our talent and instead export our goods and services, if you will. So for the TV and film industry, that means being able to produce, develop, produce, and distribute our own content, and doing it in a way that allows us to speak to a global audience.
The $1 billion film fund, super, absolutely super. Africa has got so much potential with respect to the film industry. We haven't even scratched the surface. And a lot of time, for a long time, part of the problem is being able to secure funding to be able to actually realize this potential. So what AfriExim is announced is going to make a big difference. I would suggest a lot of it be used for those areas. In the value chain of film finance, take $1 billion, film production, film distribution, film exhibition. And film exhibition are the platforms where you generate money back from investments. So I think those are the most important parts of that value chain. The film exhibition where people can make money. So the more we have cinemas across Africa, you make a film, even if it's a small film, and release it in like 10,000 cinemas across Africa, the producer will be a millionaire, and the money can be returned as well.
A screening event of the South African series Shaka Ilembe by executive producer and actor Nomzamo Umbata further reiterates the need to own the African narrative by telling more authentic African stories to preserve our cultural heritage and challenge stereotypes.
We have to have the courage, because when we have the courage and we do the stories and we tell them our way, people come, people gravitate. You look at big productions such as Black is King, how successful it was. But when you look at the credits, Parkwood came to African continent and they got African creators and merchants and people who were making the jewelry and the costumes, right, from the continent, and was able to infiltrate that. Because here's the thing, when we continue to produce and make the stuff that represents us for who we are, I think we give permission. We give permission to other creators to do the same thing, but also we give permission for streamers and distributors to lean in. You look at Asian cinema. Asian cinema does not compromise on who they are, their voice, their way of life, and we all gravitate towards it because we're so fascinated when we lean in. And I think if we as African creators are just as aggressive when it comes to putting out content that is authentically us, we will be unstoppable.
The whole is eager and excited to come to Africa, and we're building the bridge and we're strengthening the bridge every single day. Again, I think it's very important that some regulatory measures like tax incentives are being implemented here for us to be able to bring more business to the continent. And that's the key to everything. The financial infrastructure is important for us to be able to invest without having to fear that the money disappears. And once we figure out how to do that across the entire continent, the other challenges are absolutely, we can overcome those challenges. But the key is to build the financial infrastructure and architecture that allows us to bring capital to the continent. And then it's really up to us. It's about storytelling, it's about manufacturing, it's about real estate, it's about agriculture. We have to be able to take care of those financial structures in order to take a part in the continental deal flow.
Through Canex, a hub for collaboration has been born, an avenue where creatives from diverse backgrounds can come together, exchange ideas, and create something truly unique. It will continue to serve as a platform for showcasing African talent to the world, bridging the gap between local and international audiences, and fostering a sense of pride and celebration of African creativity. Shaitan Atigari, Arise News, Cairo.
Canex at IATF 2023 is the place to be.